Right now, as you watch this video, there's a non-zero probability that nothing you're experiencing is real. Not in a philosophical sense, in a literal, computational sense. Your memories? Generated. The laws of physics? Programming? Reality itself? Code. This isn't science fiction. It's a hypothesis that some of the world's leading physicists and philosophers take seriously enough to debate. If you're ready to question everything you think you know about existence, hit that like button. We're diving deep. Picture yourself inside a video game so sophisticated that the characters don't know they're in a game. The graphics are flawless. The physics engine is perfect. The NPCs believe they have free will. Now imagine that game is running on hardware billions of times more powerful than anything humans have built, hardware that could simulate entire universes down to the quantum level. The simulation hypothesis asks, what if that's where you are right now? But here's what makes this idea truly unsettling. The question isn't, could we be in a simulation? The question is, what are the odds we're not? Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom published a paper in 2003 that changed how scientists think about reality. His argument follows brutal mathematical logic. Assume three things. First, civilizations either go extinct before reaching technological maturity, or they survive long enough to develop reality simulation capabilities. Second, if they survive, they'll have enough computing power to run millions or billions of ancestor simulations, detailed reconstructions of their evolutionary history. Third, the simulated beings inside these simulations won't know they're simulated. Now do the math. If even one advanced civilization creates 1 billion simulated realities, and each simulation contains billions of conscious beings, you get trillions of simulated consciousnesses for every real one. The statistical likelihood that you are one of the rare, real ones becomes vanishingly small. But here's where it gets stranger. You don't need infinite computing power to simulate a universe. You just need enough to simulate the parts being observed. Think about how video games work. The engine doesn't render every tree in the forest simultaneously. It only renders what's in your field of view. Look away, and those calculations stop. Our universe might work the same way. Quantum mechanics reveals something disturbing about reality. Particles don't have definite properties until they're measured. An electron doesn't have a specific location until you look for it. It exists in a probability cloud, a superposition of all possible positions. The double-slit experiment proves this. Fire electrons through two slits, don't measure which slit they go through, and they create an interference pattern like waves, measure which slit, and the pattern collapses into particles. Reality literally changes based on observation. Confirmed. Repeatable. Inexplicable, unless reality is optimized like a video game, only calculating specific details when something is paying attention. But that's just the beginning. The simulation hypothesis explains other mysteries that make physicists uncomfortable. Nothing can travel faster than light. In video games, there's also a speed limit, the maximum rate at which information can propagate through the system before latency breaks the simulation. The speed of light might be our universe's processing speed limit. Even more suspicious, space itself has a maximum information density. Try to pack too much information into a small region, and you get a black hole. A place where information becomes inaccessible. Black holes have entropy proportional to their surface area, not their volume. This is exactly what you'd expect if reality were a holographic projection from a two-dimensional information substrate. Our three-dimensional space might be rendered from a two-dimensional cosmic screen, like a hologram. The universe's information storage looks suspiciously optimized. Here's something that keeps cosmologists awake at night. The fundamental constants of physics, things like the strength of gravity, the mass of electrons, the cosmological constant, are fine-tuned to an absurd degree. Change the gravitational constant by 1 part in 10 to the 60 power, and stars can't form. Adjust the strong nuclear force by 2%, and chemistry becomes impossible. Shift the cosmological constant by 1 part in 10 to the 120, and the universe either collapses immediately or expands so fast that matter can't clump into galaxies. Scientists calculate that if you randomly dialed in values for physical constants, the probability of getting a universe that supports life is less than 1 in 10 to the power of 229. That's a number with 229 zeros. For comparison, there are only about 10 to the 80 atoms in the observable universe. The fine-tuning is so extreme it demands explanation. Either we're incredibly lucky, or we live in one simulation among countless others running with different parameters. And we only find ourselves in this one because it's configured for observers like us. But here's where it gets really interesting. If we're in a simulation, we should look for glitches, places where the underlying code shows through. Some physicists think we've already found them. Space isn't continuous. At the Planck scale, about 10 to the negative 35th meters, space-time itself becomes discrete, pixelated below this distance. The concept of space breaks down entirely. That's suspiciously like the resolution limit of a simulation. Time isn't smooth either. The Planck time, about 10 to the negative 43 seconds, represents the smallest meaningful interval. Below that, causality becomes meaningless. Reality has a frame rate. Then there's quantum entanglement. Two particles can be entangled so that measuring one instantly affects the other. Regardless of distance, Einstein called it spooky action at a distance and hated it. But if reality is computed, entangled particles might be pointing to the same memory address in the simulation's code. They're not communicating faster than light. They're the same object rendered in two locations. Millions of people report false memories of the same events, the Mandela Effect, where large groups remember history differently than it actually occurred. People swear the Monopoly man had a monocle he never did. Countless individuals remember Berenstain Bears being spelled Berenstein. It wasn't. Critics dismiss these as false memories, but simulation theorists ask, what if they're memory artifacts from earlier versions of the simulation? What if reality was edited, and some cached data wasn't fully overwritten? Déjà vu, that eerie feeling of having experienced something before, might be your consciousness detecting a loop in the simulation's routine. Now comes the part that should genuinely disturb you. If we're in a simulation, who's running it? And why? The simulators could be our descendants, running ancestor simulations to study their evolutionary history. You might be a digital reconstruction of someone who actually lived billions of years ago, recreated to analyze human behavior. Or the simulators could be completely alien, entities so advanced that humans are as comprehensible to them as cells are to us. We might be an experiment, an entertainment, a mistake running in the background. Here's the really uncomfortable part. The simulation doesn't need to have started at the Big Bang. It might have started 5 minutes ago with all your memories preloaded. Your entire past could be fabricated code. Every person you love, potentially NPCs, philosophical zombies that behave conscious but have no inner experience. Or maybe you're the only conscious being in this simulation, and everyone else is just sophisticated background rendering. There's no way to know, but before existential dread completely takes over, consider this twist. If we're in a simulation, the beings running it might also be in a simulation, and their simulators might be simulated too. But before existential dread completely takes over, consider this twist. If we're in a simulation, the beings running it might also be in a simulation, and their simulators might be simulated too. It's simulations all the way down, or up, depending on your perspective. The base reality might be so far removed from our level that its laws of physics would be utterly unrecognizable. Or there might be no base reality at all, just an infinite stack of simulations, each one creating the next. You might be a simulation inside a simulation inside a simulation, nested like Russian dolls into depths that have no bottom. And here's the kicker. It doesn't matter. If the simulation is perfect enough that you can't detect it, if your experiences are genuine to you, if suffering feels real and joy feels real and love feels real, then it is real, at least for you. The substrate doesn't determine the validity of consciousness. Elon Musk gives the odds of us living in base reality as 1 in billions. Neil deGrasse Tyson puts it at 50-50, maybe higher. These aren't fringe thinkers. They're people at the forefront of technology and science. And they're taking the hypothesis seriously because the evidence keeps accumulating. The universe's information theoretic properties look designed for efficiency. Quantum mechanics behaves like render-on-demand processing. Physical constants are tuned with impossible precision. Space-time is pixelated at the smallest scales. Consciousness, your subjective experience, might be the one thing that can't be simulated, or the only thing that is simulated, depending on which philosopher you ask. Some researchers are designing experiments to detect the simulation. They're looking for anomalies in high-energy physics that would reveal the underlying computational substrate. If reality has a maximum frame rate, particle accelerators might find it. Others suggest we could detect the simulation by overwhelming it, creating computational demands so intense that the system shows strain. Imagine a cosmic denial-of-service attack on reality itself. Which brings us to you, watching this video. You have 3 options. 1. This is all absurd speculation. Reality is exactly what it appears to be. Base physical reality, not running on any substrate, not computed or simulated. You continue living exactly as before. 2. We're in a simulation, and you accept that there's no escape and no way to know for certain. You find comfort or horror in the idea, but ultimately, it changes nothing about your daily life. 3. We're in a simulation, and you dedicate yourself to understanding its rules, exploiting its glitches, possibly even communicating with whatever is running it. You become a hacker of reality itself. The simulation hypothesis isn't asking whether reality is real. It's asking what real even means when everything could be information dancing through an incomprehensibly vast computational substrate. We are either extraordinarily lucky to exist in base reality, or we're patterns in someone else's code. The universe might be the most sophisticated video game ever created, and you might be both the player and the NPC. If this video made you question reality, leave a comment telling me which glitches in the simulation you've noticed. And if you want more deep dives into ideas that break your brain, subscribe, because we're just getting started. The simulation, if that's what this is stranger than we can imagine. And the only way to find out if we're in it is to keep looking for the cracks.